saw a post earlier, and it was about when you're a woman, if you play with your kids too much, you're seen as a helicopter parent. If you don't play with them enough, you're like, oh, where's the mom? If you only want to feed them healthy food, you're seen as some kind of health freak. If you give them chicken nuggets and chips, you're seen as some kind of awful enabler of, like, you know, adult obesity. You know, it is a bit like that, being a mum. And I was chatting with my mum about it, going, oh, it's so annoying, like being a woman, everything you do is judged from a point of the negative. So no matter what you do, someone will have a problem with it. And, you know, just, you know, if you look a state, oh, she's let herself go, like, I've had a really shit night's sleep. Now, this can be incredibly annoying, and especially if you are separated from the dad, because the minute the dad does anything, it's like, oh, hail be a present father. You're like, well, hang on, just what, because he took him to the park? Really? And it can feel like that. So I hear what you're saying, everybody, with it can feel really, really, really shit. Now, if you know anything about me, you'll know that I like to see things a bit deeper, because if we're really honest, feeling like that, it feels shit, and it feels hard done to, and it feels like it's not fair. And those words it's just not fair. Now, when we tune into those words, it's not fair, it's a very childlike feeling, and it's not fair. Why? And I put it to you that it's about perception of what we're noticing. Because I also remember going for a little walk with my little boy and my ex, actually. We were walking along. And he said, you know, the amount of people who are smiling at you with Zeke in the sling. And I don't know, I'm not even noticing. He said, yeah, well, there, you see, you're just not noticing. But if Zeke was in the sling with me, you'd notice and you'd call it. And I was like, that's really interesting. And it's not dissimilar to women who go, oh my goodness, everywhere I go and I breastfeed my baby, people moan about it. And it's, oh, and I'm like, gosh, I've never even experienced one single negative breastfeeding thing in my life. And again, I home educate the kids. I've never seen anybody scowl or even mention to me, why are your kids not in school? And yet my daughter has noticed people looking at her funny, wondering if she's at school or not. So I put it to you, what comes first? The feeling of hard done to, the feeling of it's not fair, the feeling of, oh, I just can't get it right, people are always going to have a problem. Is that feeling coming before proving you are right? Because that is my knowing. What I know to be true is that when we have beliefs from childhood, and we've already said it's not fair, why comes from a childlike thing. So if we have from childhood have that it's not fair, the minute it is we have something resembling the it's not fair as an adult, we go into that, right? And so if that is coming first before our seeing and noticing and our knowing and our actual what is going on, then surely the belief that it's not fair is coming before the actual people who are judging and that are finding problems with you. And let me have a little bit of real talk. People will always have a problem with you. You've heard this little saying before. People will always bitch about you behind your back. They'll always notice when you do things wrong, and they'll always have a problem with what you're doing. And sometimes the more successful you are, more so. So you might as well please yourself, because people will have a problem whether you're succeeding or whether you're not. It doesn't matter. There'll always be someone to have a problem. Your job is to care very little about people who don't have your best interests, who don't actually want you to succeed, and who aren't championing you. Your job is to not care about any of those people. Secondly, actually, even if people are championing you, that's up to them too. That shouldn't affect what you do either way. And secondly, it's about perceiving what is actually going on. It is actually looking for data without that belief that it's not fair, and without that belief that you're hard done to. And it's noticing, actually, is that the truth? It's coming from almost like a very, if you imagine you were in a court and you're like, show me, give me evidence of the truth. You'll find evidence whatever you need, but it's noticing if that is actually true. And one more thing, what is it you actually want to see? What is it you truly want to see? Because I also put it to you that part of you wants to be proved right, so you have something to say about it. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And so you actually can have something to be pissed off about. There's nothing wrong. I'm not saying that with judgment. We all sometimes need something to be cross about, because it enables us to have a place to vent. But I put it to you that the things that maybe you are moaning about, and maybe the things that are pissing you off, maybe aren't exactly as you are choosing to